Snow had a way of making the world quieter. On Pine Street, it fell gently, covering old memories the same way it covered broken sidewalks, softly, without asking permission. The small house at the end of the street looked just like it did every winter. Same peeling paint, same tired roof. But this Christmas felt heavier. Inside the house, Walter Reed, 72 years old, sat alone in his armchair. The clock on the wall ticked loudly, each second echoing through the silence. No laughter, no music, no smell of fresh food, just time passing. On the windowsill, one small Christmas light glowed. Only one. Walter stared at it as if it were the last thing tying him to the world. His hands trembled slightly as he pulled a blanket closer. Winters were colder now, or maybe loneliness just made them feel that way. "Margaret," he whispered into the empty room. "You always said one light was enough." There was a time when this house had been loud. Walter could still hear it if he closed his eyes. The sound of his wife laughing in the kitchen, pans clanking, Christmas music playing too loud on purpose. Margaret believed holidays should be felt, not just celebrated. "Turn it up," she'd shout. "Christmas is once a year." Their children used to run through the hallway, socks sliding across the floor. Daniel, the older one, always tried to act grown, pretending he didn't care about presents. Emily, younger and louder, would shake every gift under the tree. Walter used to stand back and watch. He never needed much. Watching them happy was enough. But time, like snow, covered everything. Margaret passed away first, 5 winters ago. Cancer didn't care about Christmas traditions. The house went quiet after that. Daniel moved for work, promised to visit, then promised again. Calls became shorter. Holidays became excuses. Emily stayed longer. But grief changed her. One argument turned into distance. Distance turned into silence. Walter never begged. He believed love would find its way back. Across town, in a warm building filled with noise and movement, Sarah sat at a folding table in the community center. She was 17, with tired eyes and a heart that felt too big for her age. On the table was a clipboard. At the top, written in bold letters, "Christmas Visit Program, Seniors Without Family." Most names had check marks. Some had notes like daughter visiting or church group, but one name had nothing beside it. Walter Reed, age 72. No visitors in 4 years, Sarah frowned. "That can't be right," she muttered. The volunteer coordinator shrugged. "Some people fall through the cracks." Sarah didn't like that sentence. Fall through the cracks, like people were accidents. She picked up her coat, grabbed a small bag of cookies, and circled the name. "I'll go," she said. Back on Pine Street, Walter made himself a simple dinner, soup from a can. He ate slowly, sitting at the kitchen table where 4 chairs still stood, even though only one was ever used now. He didn't turn on the TV. The silence felt more honest. At exactly 7 p.m., he stood up and unplugged the Christmas decorations box he hadn't opened in years. It stayed in the closet, untouched. Instead, he turned on the single light. That was enough. Then, knock, knock. Walter froze. No one knocked on his door. Ever. He moved slowly, each step cautious, as if the sound might disappear. When he opened the door, cold air rushed in. A young girl stood there, snowflakes clinging to her hair. "Hi," she said softly. "My name is Sarah. I'm from the community center. I was wondering if I could come in for a few minutes." Walter stared. His voice barely worked. "Are you lost?" She smiled gently. "No, sir. Just visiting." After a long pause, Walter stepped aside. Sarah noticed everything. The dust, the quiet, the way the house felt like it was holding its breath. Her eyes landed on the single Christmas light. "That's beautiful," she said. Walter looked embarrassed. Didn't feel right to decorate more. Sarah reached into her bag and pulled out a small string of colorful lights. Would you mind if I added a few? Walter hesitated, then nodded. When the lights turned on, the room changed. Shadows softened. Colors danced on the walls. Walter sat back down, eyes glassy. My wife used to do that, he said. She said lights remind us we're still here. Sarah sat across from him. She sounds like she was special. She was everything. But they talked for hours. Walter told stories he hadn't spoken out loud in years, about building the tree with Daniel, about Emily crying when ornaments broke. Sarah listened. Before leaving, she noticed an envelope on the table. Did you write that tonight? She asked. Walter shook his head. Years ago. Never sent it. She didn't push. But after she left, Walter picked it up. Inside was a letter to Emily. I don't know how to fix what I broke, but I think about you every day. His hands shook as he folded it again. That night, Sarah posted a picture online. It showed a small house glowing softly with the caption, "No one should be alone on Christmas." She didn't tag a name. She didn't expect anything. But across the country, in a gas station parking lot, Daniel Reed scrolled through his phone while fueling his car. He stopped. That house looked familiar. Too familiar. Walter was asleep in his chair when the phone rang. He woke up confused. Hello? Dad? Walter's heart stopped. Daniel. I saw a picture, Daniel said, voice breaking, and I realized how wrong I was. Walter swallowed. It's Christmas Eve. I know. I'm driving. Sunlight touched Pine Street for the first time in days. The house was alive. Footsteps, voices, the smell of coffee. Emily stood in the doorway, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry, she whispered. Walter pulled her into his arms. The single Christmas light still glowed on the windowsill. But now it wasn't alone. Sometimes the smallest light is all it takes to bring a family home,